Right now, you're showing up with solid content, doing all the authority, the educational content. You are being inspiring. People are telling you you are inspiring. You're posting growth content, but it's not converting into sales. This episode will explain exactly why. I'm breaking down all the little hidden gaps between good content and content that actually sells, because sometimes there was a bit of a gap. And I will show you also how to shift your content. One of my clients inside Elevate actually just joined, and after 2 weeks made 9 sales from her content. She was not making sales just after starting Elevate. Another one made 12 sales in the first 2 weeks. That's what happens when you go from creating good content to content that sells. It's very simple. I've worked with women who were writing thoughtful, beautiful posts, super inspiring, people like just commenting little hearts and stuff, but they were making 0 sales. And not because they are not smart, not because they're not consistent, but because their content lacked the element that actually positioned them as the only choice. And they were just one person in the middle of everyone saying the same thing. And so once we fixed that, sales came in without actually needing to do more because they were already doing content. It's just that the content wasn't that good. Hi, I'm Gwen, and I've taught hundreds of women how to build and scale their businesses, create content, all of this blending energetic strategy and mindset work to build a business where you wake up and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe this is mine. I'm making multi-six-figure business. And that's just amazing. And today, I'm talking about why your good content isn't converting. Right now, you are posting content. Okay, you're posting content regularly. I know it, but you also get this, oh, nice, so good, nice engagement, but not actual clients, not a lot of them. You have reels with views and people like it, but they don't convert into buyers. Even your views don't convert into likes so much. And maybe you are even watching people with lesser content grow actually faster than you, and you are starting to feel frustrated. Fair enough. And maybe you're even telling yourself, my content is good, I don't get it. Or I'm doing everything I was supposed to be doing. They say post 5 days a week, I'm posting 5 days a week. They say do one educational, one authority, one growth, one blah, blah, blah. I'm doing it all. Do I just need to post more? And a bit of the truth is that good content doesn't automatically mean content that sells. Okay, it can be good for growth, it can be good for different things, but it might not be good for sales. Content that converts isn't about being helpful. Okay, so if you have been very helpful in your content, this is for you. You already read, sometimes you go on social media, you see, and you read a post and you're like, oh my God, this is so helpful. But you don't go on their profile and start being like, oh my God, I need to hire this person. You don't. Content that convert is not about being helpful. Okay. It's about positioning, of course. It's about messaging, of course, but it's also about energetics. And this morning, I was explaining to some of my clients in a meeting we had in person here about energetics. And so I thought about actually explaining a little bit more about this because I feel sometimes it is a little bit woo, how it's explained. And we were actually talking about energetics regarding boundaries for them. And I was taking the example of, some people, they just attract random people in their life that they don't know that come to them and then start just telling them the entire life story. And I'm sorry if this is you, especially if you don't want it. And some people, they just and I'm sure some, we were 6 people this morning and 2 were like this. And some people, and some of them were saying this, they go to the supermarket and there was always a person that is going to start talking to them, telling them of their problem, while another person will never have this. And both of those people smile, both of those people are nice. It's not like someone doesn't look nice, or is not smiling, but they have different energy. Right? And so one energy tells I'm available for anyone to come and dump their shit on me and tell me all of their problems. And another energy doesn't say that. And you see, so we say both of those people are nice. And both of those people maybe don't want that people do that. They don't want to actually be bothered when doing their groceries. But one person is not able to translate this need, this boundary that they have, into an embodied boundary here. And so one person has the desire to have a better boundary here and to find a way to say to random strangers, stop talking to me in the supermarket, but it's not translating. So really thinking that this is just energy. I find it like it's so fascinating. Like you can see two person, one like suddenly like you are going to be attracted to this person. This person, like it feels like so your vibe, you know? And she didn't say anything. She didn't do anything. And this other person, you're like, she seems so difficult or she seems so whatever, you know, which is like an instant judgment on an energetical level. Those people have not done nothing. You could make two-person sit in silence, just looking at yourself with the eyes. Energy is something we can feel. And I find it so fascinating that we believe in Wi-Fi. We believe in God. We can talk to someone on the other side of the planet just with, I don't know, you know, like I don't know the word in English actually for that. And like we believe in all of the things because maybe we have the proof. We believe in God. We believe maybe in so many things. Okay, whatever you believe in that you can't actually see. Like you can't see what makes the thing from one phone to one phone, right? So that's what I mean. But so many people don't believe that we all have a specific energy, like an actual energetic body. And so people, yes, we have an energetic body and people can feel your energy. Okay. So I'm trying to explain this because that's why you can say all the right things. Okay. Sometimes if your energy doesn't match, it just doesn't match. People are not going to believe it. The same that if your energy says, come and tell me your problems, you're going to attract a lot of people like this actually. So if your content is going to be the same, okay? In your content, you want to show up with the energy that is making people realize you're the only person they need to hire. Like this is you. They feel your power when you stand out online, like, and when you are in your power, in your conscious embodied energy, the one that you want, okay? They will feel your power, your understanding, your expertise, because you are an expert. Through the screen, they're going to feel it. This is embodied energy, okay? It's not just what you think, you believe, okay? Like you have embodied it because you can believe as much as you want and repeat in your head, I am someone who do not attract, well, actually, I would not say that, but people, when I'm in the supermarket, people give me space and no one talk to me, or people give me space and I always feel so peaceful. And you can say all of this stuff as much as you want. If it is not embodied, then it's not going to happen. Like people are going to still feel this energy that you have. I actually teach my clients, by the way, like how to do this because I think like sometimes it's a little like too fluffy to just say change your energy. Okay, but how? So I teach you how. Okay, that's why when I speak, you know, like I know when I speak on social media or like wherever you're listening to this, you thinking she knows her shit. Okay, you actually have no proof, but you listening to this, okay, to these trainings because you know that I know my shit, and I do. You actually have no proof, except if you're one of my clients, then you have the proof. But if you're not one of my clients, you have no proof, but you know, okay, and that's energy. You believe what I say, okay, not because I'm manipulating you, okay, but because it's embodied belief and energy. And this energy of you knowing that you are the best person to help a client in a specific situation, like the clients that I help, okay, the one who want to like have a big business, but have a small business maybe right now, have big goals, and the people that I am helping right now, I know it and they feel it, okay. The number of clients that I had recently, like every time I have a new client, I ask them like, why did you hire me? And they all say, because you are just the best. And because I can feel that you're going to be able to help me. And they don't have the proof, but they feel it. Okay. And then they have the proof when they work with me. But that's also why it's so interesting and energetic. But let's go back to your content. So why your content isn't converting, and so how to fix it. So the first thing, like beyond all of this energetic, and this is just was just a little side thing that ended up being longer. So your content isn't converting because you are teaching also, like, so you become a little bit more like this teacher, this person that is explaining the things, and not so much the leader. The leader is not always explaining why they're doing things, how they're doing it. And so educational content, and this educational content is when you teach, explain in details your framework, this explain how to do this or how I did this. And this is good to explain people. That's cool. Okay. Especially for buyers and buyer type like that are more analytical, more logical, like That's cool. But people, they don't buy your frameworks. Okay. They don't even buy your method because they can see what is your method and then they could do it themselves. But obviously it's not working because they're doing it themselves most of the time. They buy your belief that they can be successful. Okay. That's what people buy. And so if you're giving just information and how to do XYZ, that's how people will see you. And they also going to just see your program as a how to. And by the way, like if when you are leading your programs, all you do is tell people what to do, okay, and how to do it, they're not going to sign up again to work with you because now they know what to do and all you do is telling them what to do. And that's not how we run coaching programs in any type of coaching. Okay. You need, in terms of your content, you need to shift your content from, okay, here's how to do, here's how to fix it, and really looking more at this is what's happening for you. This is what you want. This is how you will go there. But like also here, and here are different gaps that you need to fill up. Okay. That's one shift that you should be doing in your content. You're not also positioning yourself as the only choice. Okay. And most content start to sound like everyone else. I am just so pissed off at the moment. Like, so sometimes I'm like, should I say it? And of course, if I think this, I have to take the advice that I also give to all my clients and have to say it. I'm just so pissed off at AI, not at AI, but actually the use of it. And I think like I'm just reading emails of actually people that I really liked reading emails from and content. And it's just so shit. I just cannot believe it because they're all like using AI now to write their shit. And it's just so fucking boring. And it just like sound like a machine. And sometimes I'm like, I'm sure the offer is actually so good. That's why I follow this person because I like this person, how they explain things. And then all their emails is written by AI, and I'm just like, I'm just so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. So you don't want to sound like a machine, okay? You don't want to sound like a machine. So you have to stop sounding like a machine. I'm not saying you can't use AI. I'm just saying AI is going to write your content like a machine because it's like a machine. And even everyone that I see being like, oh, I'm using AI and you will never believe I'm using AI. I'm like, I can see you using AI. I am not dumb. And I think like just like thinking that people are dumb or you don't have enough the time to actually take 10 minutes of your precious time to try to talk to directly to a client, I just find weird. But on the side of this, your content is going to become very boring if you start also outside of using AI. If you start to just scroll on Instagram and look at everyone in your niche, and that's why people tend to sound all like the same person and saying the same things at the same moment, is because people scroll through social media and consciously, I'm not saying it's even conscious most of the time, but then they're going to start using the same word and they sound the same. Okay. And so if you want to also create content that convert, you have to position yourself as the only choice, which is first by stopping looking at the content of all of your competitors. Okay. That's so important. If you have some competitors that are your friends, like that's different. Like I have a couple of competitors that are friends. I look at their content. I like their content because I want to support them, but I just don't look at their content in a way like to take ideas because I don't want to change the way I'm talking. It's the same like when you work with a mentor or with a coach, your content shouldn't like really match theirs, because you want to learn how to create content for you that sounds authoritative, that sounds powerful with your voice, and your voice is not your mentor voice. One thing also is important in like being in this category of one, in positioning yourself as the only choice. That's what we call like category of one. No one can compare to you. No one can compare to you only if you don't use AI. Okay. If not, like what AI is telling you, it's telling the same thing to this other person. It's also something you have to understand. Okay. If people, they don't know what makes you different, they won't buy from you. Okay. And so to know what makes you different, they have to see what you are about. Okay. And so you have to be able to transform your mundane life, like what is happening in your life today, into content that converts. And if you're not sharing any of your personal life, which is also a possibility, you want to be able to transform your client result, as small or intangible as you think they are, into content that converts. You have to inject your opinions, your method, your process, all of it in it. So people understand like why with you it's so different. I never had someone working with me and telling me, oh, the way that you work is exactly like this person. I also never had someone looking at my content and be like, you are so similar to this other person. No, which is great. The whole idea being that you need to be different. Okay. You are not the same person. And I know that sometimes I look at two content of people and I'm like, they sound just the same. But I know that if I was meeting you in person, you are not going to sound like this. So remember how you sound in person. Okay. And maybe you need to do more of this, like more recorded voice content. And remember how you sound and then write like this. Okay. Instead of thinking like of this polished version of you that then doesn't sound like you anymore. Another thing that is happening with your content is that you're not speaking to the moment of decision. Okay, let me explain. Like your content, it should move people emotionally. That's why like emotions are a good part of the content and it's a good part of sales content. But also like I love using emotions, especially when it is the selling phase, like in like meaning you are actively selling something and not in a warming up phase, let's say, if you were launching. But what I don't like is for my clients to only make decisions emotionally. I want my clients to see that working with me, joining Elevate or joining my mastermind, this is the natural next step for them. Okay. And most of my clients do it because even if I do put some emotion into my copy, like my text on social media or on emails or on my sales page, I also make it so it's very logical. Okay. It is the very logical next step. If you want to make multi 5-figure month at one point, you're going to have to work with me if you don't want it to happen in 5 years. Yeah. And this is so important to understand that, yes, we want to have emotion in. Okay. And then we also want them to be logical. And that means that you are speaking to the moment of decision. Okay. Not that you are just doing the theory. Okay. And I think that sometimes you're probably overthinking this. You're overthinking, okay, like, so in the buyer journey, because I'm saying this with the sales and I'm like, I don't want you to also overthink everything. That's why it's important to tag the knowledge, understanding the buyer type, understanding sales psychology. And that's why this is also something that I teach my clients to understand it. And then you have to make it your own and you have to stop double checking, triple checking absolutely everything that you do. Okay. There is a point where you need to be you if you want to sound like you. Ask yourself, like, what's keeping your ideal client right now, your dream client stuck? Talk about this. Talk about how you lived it. What did you do with it? How did you hold yourself? Or what are they actually afraid of? Right now, you are so afraid of this. You think this is going to happen and you don't know what to do. And here is what I want you to know. Buyers, they don't convert just because they had like an aha moment or finally understand what do they need to do. No. What do they need to do is just one thing. Even if someone understands, okay, so I need to have a better strategy. That's why I need to hire the strategy queen, Gwen. Yes, but I'm sure other people are also good with strategy. But it's more like I kind of want to have it straight to my face. I don't want someone to just sugarcoat everything for me and just tell me everything I do is perfect. And someone that tells me it's perfect when it's perfect. And someone that tells me, now move your ass, like this is not correct. Do it again. When is the time to do it again? Yeah. And that's why people hire me. That's what is also different. So not just because they had this aha moment realizing like they need this specific strategy that I teach. Yeah. People convert by having this emotion, okay? But they also convert because of the way you speak, because the way you explain things. Like one of my friends, she explained things that for me is so boring. Like the way she explains things is just like it's taking an hour for me to say something that I will say in like 7 minutes. Yeah. And so for me, I cannot work with someone like this. I absolutely love her. Okay. I love her to death. And like, this doesn't change anything, but I will not hire her. I hire people who, like me, are very fast. Okay. Are very fast and are going to explain me the thing that I need to know in a way that works for me. I need to know why I'm doing this in the big vision. Okay. And that's it. Okay. This is what I need to do. And I do it. I cannot something different. And so same for you. You need to hire someone, okay, that explain the things like you like it. And that's why people hire me. And that's why I work so well with my clients, because I do this type of content like what you are listening to right now, this podcast, or maybe you're watching it on YouTube. And the thing is, they see me explaining things and they're like, this is what I want. This is what I need. Okay. And that's why it's so important for you to show up as you in your content. And this is why the worst thing you can do for your business is looking at what other people are doing, how they are doing it, how they are explaining this, because it's probably different than the way you're doing it. Okay. And then you start sounding like them, you start teaching like them, but then on social media, but then when people are with you, you do something else. Okay. Point number 4 that I wanted to talk about in terms of the content here is that I believe you are selling half-assed. I recently did a content say like, I don't do anything half-assed, and I don't. Okay. And sometimes if you're not really fully into it, people can feel it. It's the same as in a relationship or like a date, like if you are like in front of someone and you're like, oh my God, why I'm here? Like obviously the other person can feel it. If you're not into it, if you're not into your offer, if you're not into selling your offer, well, hello, what do you think people will do? Okay. Do you think people are going to like love buying your offer? No, obviously they're not going to love buying your offer if you don't love your offer and you love selling your offer. If you are selling half-assed because you doubt yourself, you doubt people will buy, and if they don't buy, then you start also making mean something about you. Maybe you're not enough, or this is not for you. After all, you shouldn't have a business online. Look like you created something and 2 days later, no one bought it. If you want a business online, you need to sell. Okay. And you know it. And some of you have such a deep resistance into selling because you have certain limiting belief around selling. And you feel that to sell, you need to be like this. To sell, you need to be like, this man that is trying to sell you a pen or whatever they say, or a car, or that is using like salesy tactic, icky vocabulary and stuff that you don't like. But who said that? Okay. A lot of people, and so start to take other models. A lot of people who are selling online are doing it the way that you want to do it. So look at businesses that you absolutely love and that you're like, oh my God, she's so warm, or she's so like this. Like you will see that some other people are embodying this. And until you sell fully embodied in you, trusting your wisdom, trusting your strategy, you are still going to be half-assed. And people are still going to doubt you, doubting your offer, which is fair enough because you're also doubting yourself and your offer. Last point is that your energy doesn't match what you are selling. And that's like something that I want you to do is that before you post, I want you to ask yourself, will I buy from this? Would I buy from this post? Or would I buy from this energy? Like, how do you show up? Okay. Do you 1,000,000,000% believe in your offer? Do you believe what you do changes life? Do you believe like this is amazing? The offer, the pricing, the delivery, the designs, everything. Do you believe you are the best at what you do? Do you believe this is the best? Selling actually starts with being sold yourself. If you are not being sold yourself, of course, you're not going to sell many of the spots that you want to sell. Your content doesn't need to be perfect. It actually needs to stop being polished, okay? As polished as you are making it. It doesn't need to go viral, but it does need to position you as the expert. And an expert is not over explaining everything. Okay. It needs to sell your way of doing things. It needs to activate people to move. You're ready to create content that actually converts into clients. Okay. You are done with posting content that doesn't do any sales. You are done with the likes or with this is so helpful comments. This is you. And if this is you, Elevate will show you exactly how. Okay. You will learn to create messaging that sells, strategy that scales, and a presence that actually demands you will have authority because you will understand how this is built up. Also, there was an entire program that's called the Mindset Portal where I teach you all of this. I teach you how to work on your embodiment, your energetic, your identity, how to command authority, how to believe in your offers, how to be the one, all of this. Those are open right now with an insane bonus. So you can go right to businesswithgwen.com/elevate for all the details. You will be silly to not check it out. I am not saying, and I am not saying that this is for all of you, but read the sales page on business.com, businesswithgwen.com/elevate. I need to remember my website. Look at all of the details, because if you are stuck at like 2 to 5K months, or even like depending on where you're at in your business, but like you could 10 times this. Yeah. I'm not saying in 3 months. Yeah. But you want to have a big business. You know that there is so much more for you. And then right now you're stuck. And honestly, like you're just piecing together with like shitty coaching and shitty little self-paced courses that this is not what have been working for you. And you feel that my approach is exactly what you need. They are not two like me. This is what I can promise you. So if you love what I'm sharing with you, you're going to love what is inside Elevate. Bonuses are limited, and there was never a better time, than now to elevate your entire business. Thanks for listening to this training on why your good content isn't converting, and let's make it convert, please. Okay, let's stop this. If you liked today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't forget any of the other time where I'm posting a content here on YouTube or on the podcast, depending on where you're listening to this. Bye, everyone.